Welcome to the Boston's Big Four podcast. Cast. New news about music and sports every week, sometimes.
We're back. Another episode of Boston's Big Podcast. Back in the basement. We got a very special guest with us, Tim Nihan. We artist, rapper, producer mainly right now. That's your main focus at the moment. And
I like the sound.
pretty that's our human soundboard right there.
Yeah.
And coming off a pretty successful record right now.
Yeah, man.
Co-produced the new Be a Track London featuring J. Cole, featuring a 24-bar verse from J. Cole, where he just spazzed out.
He went nuts. He went off.
We'll start off with, tell us how that felt, hearing J. Cole rap on one of your beats.
Man, it felt like a dream, dude. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, I dreamed of this so long. I mean, like, literally, like, it didn't feel real when the first time I heard it. Like, Aziz had showed me and Jon the song, and, like, we were just, like, me and Jon were just, like, sitting like this, you know what I mean? Just like, what is going on? And, like, we were talking before the podcast started about, like, how like a couple times in the verse you think it's gonna end, and then he just keeps going,
and then it gets
like,
even better after that.
Yeah. So it was nuts, but like, and I don't want to like downplay how crazy it was too, that beat, like, because that was a big deal for us too. That like that Bia, because we knew about Bia being on it before J. Cole had gotten on it.
Right.
We were already like crazy hyped about that. You know what I mean? So
of course,
like, for that to happen too,
Bia's a superstar now,
dude. For real,
she is.
Real. So yeah, man, it was like I think after we heard it, me and Jon just like sat there for like a half hour. Like Aziz had left, and we were just like didn't even say much. We were just like staring
after
at
you
each
heard
other.
the Cole verse.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was like I had work the next day, and like I stayed out way too late because like it was just like
How do you
none
sleep
of that stuff.
after
Yeah,
that?
bro, like none of that mattered. Like it was whatever. Like it
Right.
was just like, what, man? Like crazy.
So what was the process like? How did you get the beat to Bia, and how did she present it to J. Cole? Like, how did that whole process happen?
So like Aziz works with Bia all the time. So like a bunch of her biggest songs, or you'll hear that Aziz, Aziz.
It's a great tag.
So like, amazing tag, right? It like sticks in your head.
Mm-hmm.
The duo of them, Aziz, and there's like Bia.
Oh yeah,
it's so
great.
Crazy. But so he's been locked in with her for a long time, and like and Jon has a good relationship with Aziz, and we had just been sending him some stuff, and so like a while ago we kind of knew it was a Bia had used it, but we weren't really sure what was going to happen with it, you know what I mean? Because like with stuff on major labels, it's kind of like, so we just kind of kept it quiet, and we're just like, whatever happens. It's still amazing that somebody on that level decided to use something we created, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So that was like last year, so it was like, I think it was like 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay.
And then like really quickly, like before it was released, we found out about the J. Cole thing, and then it was like we found out about it, and then it was like, oh, and it's coming out with a video, like
insane.
in a week
That's
and a half, and we're like, what?
So you found out about the J. Cole feature a week and a half before?
Pretty much,
out.
like a week and a half or like 2 weeks before.
Wow.
And it was pretty close for them too. Like it wasn't like they weren't hiding it from us. They just it just all happened that quick. Like within a couple weeks. Yeah.
So Bia liked the beat so much that she decided to show it to J. Cole. Like when she got in the studio with him, she was like, "This is the beat that I need to play for him."
Yeah, I think. I mean, yeah,
that's
I
pretty
guess
amazing.
So. I guess so. I mean, you saw
amazing.
like the write up, like that the post that J. Cole made about it, where he was like, he had showed it to her.
Yep.
She showed it to him, and he was like obsessed with it, and and like
he didn't even want to make do a verse at first because he thought she killed it so bad that like she did. Like he loved just the style she brought to it and everything. Like he didn't even want to interfere, but then he finally did it, and it was incredible.
Yeah, I guess because in the post he said like he had started, like it was in his head after he had heard it that time, and then so crazy.
That is insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, it's like hard to. I don't even know what to say. That like, I mean, just like do you feel like? I mean, of course, it's like the first of many things that will happen now, because I'm sure this opens doors. But do you, in a way, feel like this is just like the thing you've been working towards for years?
Yeah, it is weird. It's like I mean, it's amazing, but
Yeah.
it's strange because it's like I definitely had moments like, you know what I mean, after I found out, like before we had even heard it, but John had just told me, you know what I mean, just like came home from the studio one night and like, you know, like I work a 9 to 5 too right now, so like I have long days sometimes, you know what I mean, and like it was just a particularly like tough day, and it's just like, you know how it goes when you're working, and then, you know, so I'll go right from work to the studio, and then I'm out till like midnight, you know what I mean, so I'm like gassed, and John had told me like on the ride home, he called me, and I just like broke down, was just like crying because it was just like sat in front of my apartment for like 20 minutes because it's like,
Yeah.
I just thought about I'm 31 and I started making music when I was 12. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And
Wow.
like I started, you know, I started like recording and stuff and actually releasing stuff when I was a little bit older, but I was like writing and recording myself on like tape recorders and stuff when I was 12. So it's like that's a long time, and like
Yeah.
I thought about it all the time. You know what I mean? And so to have something like big like that happen, it's like odd because it's like it's just like
I feel like in that moment, like it kind of forces you to just think back on those last 19 years.
That's
And,
exact-
You know, it's like, wow, it's like everything I've put in, it wasn't all for nothing. It
Bro.
was, you know, it's like there are good things that come out of this, because I'm sure it gets discouraging at times.
dude, that's exactly the best way to put it. That was what that moment felt like, where I just looked back on all of that and was like, you know, and exactly what you said. Like, there's discouraging moments. There's times where you doubt yourself. There's times where you hear the voices of, you know, like whatever people in your life or around you that maybe think that you should have a backup plan or that you should have done something else and you're wasting time or whatever. And it was just like, and that starts to get at you when you haven't, you know, because I've done really amazing stuff, and like I would never trade anything that I did, even if nothing big happened, because it's all amazing.
Right.
But just like monetarily or like something that with like status or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was just like, wow.
Like you were saying before, something you can show your parents or like people who maybe aren't like hip hop, like diehard hip hop fans.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's cool. Obviously, we know as huge hip hop fans the importance of someone like Rex or Terminology or like all these great local artists. We know the importance of them, but to a casual listener, they might not know.
Yep.
You know, so it kind of gives you that validation when you get someone like J. Cole on a record and someone like Bia, who's a superstar right now, and it's like, and they see that it's the number 5 trending video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, like this is for real.
Yeah.
Like they realize, I think in that moment they realize, like, you know, all this time he spent over the years, like it was, you know, it was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And yeah, and like we were talking about that earlier, where it's like, you know, because I've done stuff with, you know, people that if we talked about it, would be like, oh my God, you know what I
They're
mean?
legends,
and like, yeah, and it's like people who I looked up to are like friends of mine and stuff, and like that stuff's amazing. But then you say that to an outsider, and they're kind of like, I don't know who that is, you know what I mean? And so yeah, this is just a thing that resonates outside of New England hip hop.
Yep, absolutely. The video is insane too. Who did the video?
Oh man, I'm messing up now because I can't think of
No, it's all good. I just remember like I saw like a behind the scenes clip because they kept showing those different angles.
Yeah.
And I saw the behind the scenes clip. Owen would probably know more about this than me, but that must have been a really expensive camera that they had.
Dude, that's the crazy thing.
I don't know the camera
I got to show you the
models.
video.
No, because it looks like I know his name too. I feel bad that I can't think of it on air, but he like the video that he posted. I thought the shots of it when we first saw it were like editing, that it was like moving like
Yeah.
and
No,
like
they had the camera on like an
camera
arm
was
that was just
moving
like
like
whipping
that.
around. That was insane.
yeah.
Was it Creative Row and Creative's label? That's what it says.
No.
Oh, that's the production company. I'm sorry. The
No.
director is Daps.
Daps. Thank
Daps,
you.
it is?
there we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Sorry,
Shout out
yeah,
to
I was like, I
Daps.
gotta find him. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, it's Daps. So, but yeah, I was like, what? Because it looks like the way it moves that it was like camera tricks, and then you
Yeah.
see the behind the scenes that the camera
They got this
is
like robot
actually-
arm that's just moving the
Yeah.
camera around.
Oh, that's
It's-
wild.
yeah,
Doesn't
it's
someone
insane.
have that at like the red carpet events where it like swings in? But yeah, that shit's
Probably.
crazy.
It
gets,
was
like, the
insane. It was
wildest
just
stuff.
like
Yeah.
J. Cole rapping in front of this camera, and the camera's just moving around him. Like it was wild.
Dude, that's that Boston Dynamics type shit. You know, like those robots that will just be in your face, like,
Yeah,
dude.
And they shot it in London too.
right.
And it's called London. I feel like I don't know what the numbers are, but I feel like it's probably pretty popular in London, isn't it?
Yeah, it was doing like I think it was like 68 on the top 100 here, and then it was like 72 on the top 100 in the UK.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And malls have seen crazy rises in revenue. Everyone wants to go shop at the mall.
That's true.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
That's true.
all that stuff is so catchy in her verse. It's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
she
whole
went off.
concept of the song is pretty great. I mean, using the British accent and shooting it in London and knowing that it's going to do numbers in London because of that, and you already know it's going to do numbers in the States and, you know, worldwide because it's J. Cole and B is huge right now. But, like,
Yeah.
having it centered around London, it's like you guarantee you're going to do numbers in London at that point, which is
Yeah,
pretty
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, you obviously are a rapper, too.
Yeah,
We talked about this.
Yeah.
You put your focus into producing
yeah,
for right now,
yep.
but your music is fire. Like
Thank you,
everything
man.
you've ever recorded is insane.
Thank you.
So I think like the people are wondering, are we gonna get more rapping? Or
It's definitely possible. Like we were talking a little bit before. Like I would never close the door on it. You know what I mean? And like I still, I did a verse recently for Beliefs Project.
Yep.
And like my homie Evan Audio, who is releasing incredible music. He's part of my production group, Compound Collective, and
Yep.
with Mertz, and he releases incredible music. And just this past weekend, he had asked me to get on something, so that might come out too.
So mostly just features right now.
Yeah, like it's more so like when somebody asks me and it's like a homie, and like I'll say yes, you know what I mean? But yeah, it just kind of has to be like an inspiration thing. Like I can't force it, you know what I mean? So
Right.
if I'm inspired to make something, then I definitely will. I can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something that you'll never lose, I would think. It's like
Yeah.
that inspiration's always going to be there to an extent. You might not be, producing might be your main thing right now, but eventually you're going to want to write something down and
Yeah.
record it.
Definitely. And like I still, you know what I mean? Like if I make a crazy beat or something, like, everyone always does like the car test, and I'll freestyle to it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'll listen, and like I always have ideas and stuff. But it's just it takes a lot of like effort and like you have to kind of push through a lot of things to finish a record
Mhm.
and complete it. And for whatever reason, just with producing, like my creativity flow is just going all there right now, and I don't want to. I fought it for a little while. Like I was trying to force songs to happen, and then I was like, I don't like these though. You know what I mean? And like I'm not really in love with this, so I just kind of. It has to be organic. You know what I mean? And that's just where I went right now. So it's like but that doesn't mean if I start going back to songs, I can't really help it. So it's like,
Yeah,
that might happen too. I don't know.
absolutely.
Well, I'm sure with like the recent success, you've probably had some more inspiration of like a scenario to. Do you have bars written about the recent success?
I did write some bars. I'm not gonna spit them, but I thought that might be the follow-up question. I was gonna nix it right away.
All right. Yeah,
We were about to throw a beat on.
yeah.
But no, you're right. I definitely was inspired after it happened because there was a lot of thoughts that happened after it.
When something like that happens, it's like you feel like the sky's the limit after that. So,
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. And not even like, oh, now I have like a bigger, now there's eyes on me and I could put something out.
Yeah.
It was just literally like there was a lot that I was thinking and feeling. So it was like
Absolutely
inspiration to write. So yeah, that definitely happened. Good call.
Yeah, had to ask.
Yeah, I remember Which Side's my favorite song of yours. That's a really good one. And
I appreciate that.
you were mentioning before how like you kind of soft launched that song. Like you didn't really.
Yeah, it's like I was so embarrassed at the time, but like now it's whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just, I had a lot of fear around releasing stuff and I was so self-critical, and I'm sure you hear a lot of people say that, but I would just like dissect everything I did till I hated it, you know what I mean? And I shot a video for that song with Trevor Finney, who's like crazy. He's mad talented, and like
That's
video.
Joyner's guy, right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
He's like crazy talented, and so the video was crazy, and like it's so stupid that I didn't put it out, but like it just
You
in the
still
moment,
can, It's
I know.
not
I
too late.
thought about it.
It's not too late.
It.
Now might be the right time.
Yeah.
I know. I thought about it, but it's kind of just like a moment that to me kind of passed, and like I'm okay with like letting the song live where it's living right now.
I look at it as like a hidden gem for that reason, because you didn't
kinda
really,
is, yeah.
because you didn't really promote it. Like, not many people have heard it, but I listen to it a lot, and so I look at it as like a hidden gem that like only I know about.
I think it's probably because you put it onto a playlist, but it's like one of my, not because I don't get crazy streams at all, but like it's one of my better streaming songs, probably because of the playlists.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
know.
because
I'll
of
take
you.
credit for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you've
not?
also like put, you know what I mean? You put it on when you did the playlist, you like posted about it.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
on there, and like, well, I can't really explain it because like I didn't even say anything about it. I literally did not like.
I don't even know how I
Post about
found it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
bro.
know.
I don't know.
I probably just looked you up. I was like, has he dropped anything lately?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
saw that.
But you were like
Stalker.
on it quick though.
That's what I do.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's how that happened.
All right. So I first heard about you through Riggs a few years ago.
Yeah, dude,
Who-
that's the homie. Dude.
Yeah, Owen
That's
and I
the
have known him for a
homie.
while.
Oh yeah.
And he's down in Atlanta now doing his thing. He dropped an
Yep.
album a couple years ago with like T-Pain and Big Crit on
Dude,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
nuts.
Crazy.
So
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
crazy.
that relationship and how you guys have helped each other musically.
Yeah, so we met. He actually talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah,
but
he did.
We met through Mind Spray. He was kind of
Yep.
detailing when he got out of college and was like looking for open mics and stuff. So yeah, we just, I think I saw him performing and like at one of the Mind Sprays, and I was just like really liked the song that he was performing, and we just kind of chopped it up. And then he saw me perform. He really liked what I did. And like that's just how you become friends in music. You just like,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh,
That's
you're
pretty
good.
much it.
You're good too. Let's be friends.
Oh, you're good
But
too.
yeah.
You're good too. And then you
Yeah.
realize like you're like, all right, you're a nice person too. All right.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna be
exactly.
friends.
Yeah.
Like
So-
the first thing is like you're good at music, and then you're like, all right, is this guy a dick or not? It's like, all right, we can work together.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was definitely joking because like when we like linked up and
Yeah.
like I went to his house and we created stuff, and we just like, yeah, he was just someone that I, like I'm a like uncomfortable kind of shy person, and he's someone that makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah,
and he's
definitely.
like such a nice dude, like warm-hearted person, and like we definitely connected on different things. And he's like, he mentioned here and he talks about it a lot, but he like grew up in the church, and
Mm-hmm.
so we connected on that, and like just talking about God and obviously the music and yeah. So then we did a couple songs together, and actually that might have been, we put out this song. It's on SoundCloud still. It's called My Mama Told Me, and that's actually my beat. That was like, that might be one of the first things like in that
I swear to God, the first time I ever heard of you, it was a video of you and him performing that song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, so like I would because I always produced, but I just kind of kept it more quiet and like, whenever I would, like it would usually be something that I put out that was my own song, and but yeah, so we did a couple songs, we did a bunch of shows together back then, and then we just kind of always stayed in touch, and like like it hasn't happened where we've done a bunch of things, and it just how life is, like you just we haven't been able to connect to like put something out together again, but that's just like the homie, like that's one of my greatest
he's
friends.
a dad now too, so he's
exactly
a busy guy.
he's exactly he's super hardworking, and he does so many different things, but yeah, he's the best, man. Like I still talk to him all the time.
Word, love to hear that.
Yeah,
Shout out Riggs.
yeah, dude.
Absolutely. Another guy you've connected with is Justin, and I first met you in person at his listening event for The Color Blue back in 2018.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So talk about that relationship. I know you guys are good friends.
Yeah, dude, he's the man, bro. I love Justin. Yeah, we actually met. Oh, it's crazy, dude. I always forget this because we kind of like officially like started when we made music together. I don't even know what year it was, bro, but this is like a while ago. But it was actually with Jon Glass, because Justin did a lot of stuff with Jon. And but dude, I actually when I was like 18, I was dating this girl, and her cousin was from Peabody, and she knew I rapped, and she showed us Justin's music. So this is like when he was mad young, you know what I mean? Like this is when he was a
rapidy rapper.
Yeah. But he had like a couple songs that like went semi-viral, like on YouTube.
Yeah.
There was one where he like sampled the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think. Like
yes, I remember that one. I've seen that video. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he probably would be like embarrassed by that song, but like, but really, when you're that age and you do something and it was like different and unique, and he was talking about something real.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was dope.
It was very real. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It was great actually.
Yeah, and like the video and the production was raw, but he was mad young. Like that's what you would expect from someone. But so after that, I kind of like followed what he did, and like then he started putting out, what was it, like Old Soul, but I'm young in the brain. Like, dude, those songs are crazy, bro. Like
they really are.
They're nasty.
They really are.
So I was like a fan of Justin Clancy.
Yep.
And then when I started making music, I had a show at I think it might have been like Church of Boston. I don't even know if it's around anymore, but it was a venue where, but Terminology was performing there. And I don't even know if I was like on the show or anything, but I think I just went there. And Justin was like working the merch table for Show Off Records.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, like I'm like a fan of him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I go up to him, and like at that time it was probably like, I'm sure he had people do that, but he was kind of like thrown off. He's like, you're a fan of me?
He's probably way more used to that now than
exactly,
he was back then.
bro. Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, so then we just kind of like chopped it up, and then we linked again and met with Jon, and we made a couple songs, and we just like had the same sense of humor, and like we just laughed all the time, and so then we just like we became really close, and we were gonna do an album too together. We had put out a song and a video, and same thing, life happens, and then he kind of like switched directions with what he was doing, and so but same thing, like that's like forever the homie. It doesn't matter what, no matter how time, space, no music, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Yeah,
it transcends music.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. We need a collaboration between you two eventually, though.
Yeah, dude. Like I mean, there's music out there that we have together, but at the same, and it's also like one of those things, kind of like what I was talking about with my own rap, where it's like it just has to be organic, and like that doesn't mean it would never happen. It just like I think he probably feels exactly the same way. He would never want to force something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he talked about that, being in LA, trying to force stuff. Like it doesn't feel good, and so. It's definitely possible, though. Like we've definitely talked about like me sending him production or anything like that. So it's never off the table.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like since you were 12 you started making music, or at least like recording yourself doing music. At like what point did you get into the production side? Was that like early on, or were you okay?
Yeah, like super early. I think when I was 12, I would like I would like, I can't remember exactly because it was like, but I would get, probably when I was like 14, I think my dad had like a MacBook that he had from work, and I had gotten, or no, even actually before that, we had on our family computer, I got Fruity Loops, like the demo version. That was the first thing I ever made beats on. So like I actually have a full. Well, I don't even want to say it because it's like it's out there somewhere. So I'm not gonna say it.
It's out on the interwebs.
I'm not gonna say it. But I have a whole project that was entirely produced by me. It was my first thing. It was like 20 songs long.
And it's out there somewhere.
Somewhere.
It's you beats and rapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's out there on the internet. It's public
somewhere. Yeah.
So if you don't want people to hear it, why is it still out there?
Because at the time, I was working with someone, and everything went out through their platform.
Okay, so it's on their
If
platform.
it was under mine, it would have been gone.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to find it. We're going to dig.
I'm guessing it's Bandcamp.
I'm not, honestly.
SoundCloud.
I think it's got to be Bandcamp.
No, it was before SoundCloud.
SoundClick. Remember SoundClick?
Dude, there's music of mine on SoundClick too, but I don't know if it even works.
I forgot about SoundClick until just now.
Yeah, I had stuff on SoundClick. I had all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I and it was like almost all Fruity Loop beats, and like almost it came out when I was like a little bit older, like I was like 17 maybe when that project came out. But they were like beats that I had made from 14 to 17. So it was just like an accumulation of like the best beats that I had made over those years. But it was mad funny because I had the demo version of Fruity Loops.
Oh, you can't save.
You can't
right?
save.
Yeah.
So like this is like my family computer, bro, right? Like it's just like a desktop, and I would be like leaving notes like, do not close this out. You know what I mean? Like, and then like anytime.
How many times did people close it?
Oh, bro, so many times. And it would be like, and then you'd always be like, that was the best beat I ever made. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like,
do you think you did lose any gems that could be hot today?
Nah, you can't think like that. You know what I mean? Because like anytime you lose something, because anybody,
you're not getting it back.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Art is meant to be destroyed. Remember that.
What?
I love it.
That's what they say, right?
Funny.
Is that what they
castles,
say?
paintings, sculptures. I don't know.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Is art meant to be destroyed? Sound off in the comments. I might be wrong.
Some art is meant to be destroyed.
But yeah, then after that, I had gotten a MacBook, and that's when I got GarageBand. That was actually kind of when I started, like, started using some other people's productions and stuff when we were talking about like you, because that was right around, I was old enough where you could get YouTube beats and stuff. Like when I first started, that wasn't even really a thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you couldn't go on YouTube and get type beats or whatever.
When did that start? I feel like that was.
I'm trying to think like
2000s?
the exact year that became a thing.
It was like right around when Mac Miller started getting popular.
Okay, yeah, because I remember like 2011 at least, people pulling up beats and us like freestyling.
Yeah.
That was like, but I feel like that might have been like, well, no, maybe 2011. I don't know. That could have been around then. But like then people were getting stuff off LimeWire. You know what I mean? You'd get
that
like,
had to have been the
that
tail
was during
end,
the
right?
LimeWire era.
Oh my God.
Tail end of the LimeWire era.
you would just like burn CDs and be like, you would just type instrumental, and then it
just
would be
destroy your computer.
yeah,
Dude, how many computers? Oh my God! I wonder if like the computer companies were just in cahoots with LimeWire, like keep fucking up these computers.
Yeah, so people have to buy more.
yeah. That's mad funny.
On average, I think every house went through like 2 or 3. That's
Right.
everyone was just eating computers back in the day.
You'd get a song and it wouldn't even be like the title would be different from the actual song you got.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It would just be like Bill Clinton saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
I forgot about that one. That was like every song for a while. You're like, yo, what is this?
That was a
man.
thing.
Yeah.
You download like
Wow.
a Lil Wayne song, and it would just be Bill Clinton saying he
It was
didn't have
like-
sexual relations with that woman.
But then I think that like if you kept listening, it turned into like a techno. It was like I
Oh,
did not
really?
have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh my
I did
god.
not have. You know what I mean? Like it
It
was
was a
like.
banger, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, but like when you were looking for Lil Wayne, you didn't.
Yeah,
even
that's
listen
not what
past
you were
it 'cause you're like, what is
expecting.
this?
You're-
Like,
I remember one time somebody who didn't have access to LimeWire asked me if I could download the Carter 3 for them. And I did it song by song, and I didn't know the Carter 3 at the time, so I didn't like verify it.
So
And I just gave it to them, so I don't know.
I will say that it was probably wrong because the Carter 3, there were like so many different versions that leaked
Yeah.
before the actual one came
Yeah.
out.
It was
well, this
definitely
was
wrong.
after
So like
the release.
it was
so-
definitely wrong.
Dude,
Because like Lil
imagine.
Wayne had like mixtapes full of like leftover songs that got leaked before the Carter 3.
Oh my
And they
Which
god.
were
all said they
fire.
were on the Carter 3.
Yeah.
So you definitely messed up.
You're like,
Sorry.
I know. 'cause
Sorry,
you're
bro.
like, that was me, and yes, they were wrong.
Well, I
Yeah.
will say they never said anything to me, so
They
maybe
probably thought it was the Carter 3.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That'd be so funny years later finding out like you were just listening to old freestyles or something.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
had no idea. Still
That
dumb.
album got leaked so many times that he had to just like put out mixtapes of the leaked songs and then release the actual
Are
album. It was weird.
leaks publicity stunts?
Possibly.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
probably.
I think during that era it was a big thing. Definitely.
I don't think that specific one probably wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Didn't somebody say it was like a USB was like accidentally left in like a rental car or something? Or
Lil
no,
Wayne,
like a
Lil
CD?
Wayne said he left a CD in a rental car and returned it to
man.
the place, and that's how the Carter 3 got leaked.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That still
that
sounds
was a
fake.
crazy time.
Yeah.
I remember like that was a time when every big album was leaking like a week before it came
Yeah.
out. Like I remember Kid Cudi's at that time did the same thing. And then Jay-Z and Kanye dropped Watch the Throne, and that like had like a force field around it and did not leak, and everyone was like, "Where's the leak?" And
They
it
did the
just-
Disney Marvel stuff.
yeah. But that was a different time.
Yeah.
No more CDs. CDs are the new records.
I feel like it's still worth
Yeah.
having CDs though, because like the different streaming services, you never know if they're ever like they might not always host every song. I mean, they probably
Yeah.
will, but it's like I mean they probably will.
But they don't make
it's-
cars with CD players anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like,
They don't. I guess I haven't bought a new car. My car has a CD player.
does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But-
starting to make them without them.
Yeah.
But even still, you could get CDs and then like get the MP3s off of them and have that
Yeah.
still on a device. So you like own the hard copy at some point. Like there's no.
I would do that. I would buy
cloud
CDs
version.
just to put the music on my iPod. I remember
Yeah.
that.
oh yeah.
Well, because how many people
Damn.
they must have figured it out, but like how many people spent thousands of dollars on one like 99-cent songs on iTunes that now like where are they? Did they have? I'm pretty sure they had to be on like the computer you were on. Like you
Yeah,
didn't.
because iTunes isn't a thing anymore, really.
No, I think they got rid of it altogether.
No, I think you can, but you can still buy.
You can still buy
Really? But
songs
is it
on
not
iTunes
on
because
iTunes?
Of
I
course,
met,
you
I
can
met
still pay.
Terminology a couple weeks ago, and he made me buy his album on iTunes right in front of him.
He made you? Why?
No, but-
Terminology. That's a
said-
terrible business plan, bro. You can't just.
He said he does this with. It's only like $5. I was like, fine. It's
Oh,
on.
man.
Yeah, he said he does this with everyone that he like comes in contact with, and that's why his album with Paul Wall is number 5 on iTunes right now.
You know who
That's what he
buys
said.
music like that is Jon Glass though, because he's so like supportive. You know what I mean? Where he's like, it gives the artist more money.
It
if you
does.
buy it.
Well,
So
that's what
he,
Term
like,
was
only
saying.
buys
That's what Term
stuff.
was saying. He was like, if everyone here can just like spend $5 and buy the album on iTunes, like that's so much more important than streaming to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I totally get that, but it
Yeah.
just seems a little weird.
but I
You're
also
like-
don't use iTunes, so I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
You're
when
like, I don't even know how to
Wikipedia
do
is like, if everyone just gave $1, we would be able to pay for ourselves for 50 years.
yeah,
But it's like, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Wikipedia it begs you once in a while.
Yes, Wikipedia does
Oh
beg me
my
to give them
God.
money once in a while.
They,
I'm like,
they get
no
you
way.
too. They feel, you do feel guilty, don't
They
you?
do. They
'Cause
do.
you're like, I do look at this all the
We
time.
yeah,
provide
they're
free
like,
content.
they're like, we know you like this website. Do you want it to continue?
Oh,
Don't
man.
stop doing that, Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I get it. You probably do need money to keep your stuff running. Someone will give it. I probably won't.
I'm guessing like a small percentage.
Well, they
of
also
people
try
do
to
it.
get you monthly. It's not like a one-time payment. They're like,
Yeah.
Oh, they try to rope you in for the subscription.
it'll say, it'll say like this
Wow.
many. You can opt out of that, but like they
It's hidden
start
at
you
the
into
bottom.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how they do it. That's how these things do it. I heard. I want to figure out how many subscriptions I have. I've like over the years accumulated a few. I don't know what my monthly costs are for subscriptions.
To
There's an
Wikipedia.
app that I saw that
No, many.
sorts it out or something. I
Really?
can't remember the name of it. But,
Theo Vaughn on his
I saw
podcast
ads
has been
for it.
advertising something recently about how you can keep track of that stuff.
I'm paying for 6 Netflixes.
Yeah, he's like, you check your account. He's like, there's 12 charges for $11.99. You're like, where did that come from?
Oh my god! Off the top of my head, we got Zoom, Dropbox,
Oh,
Funimation.
Yeah, it's too much.
I was just thinking in my head,
Shopify?
I was like, I don't really have that many. And then as soon as you started saying stuff, I was like,
Every
oh,
once in a
wait.
while, I look at my list of subscriptions and I'm like, why am I subscribed to this?
Yeah. I had Hulu for a while in college, and then I got rid of it right as it started becoming useful. Because it used to be like barely any benefit
Yeah.
to have the subscription, and then it became like a whole nother streaming service, and I was like, no!
Yeah.
Dude, okay, sorry. To tie this back in, speaking of streaming services, do you pay monthly for any DAWs or plugins or anything? Because I feel like that must be like hard to justify.
Monthly?
And that might be an annoying question to ask.
No, monthly. You said
Yeah.
pay monthly?
Like, are there
No.
subscriptions to plugins or DAWs?
There are, but I
Yeah.
don't personally.
'Cause
I
it
started.
seems
I
weird,
actually
right?
paid for one. Like, it's called RC20 Retro Color. Like, it's kind of
Okay.
what you were talking about before the podcast started. Like saturating sounds and stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I was paying for it monthly, and then I just ended up like paying the rest of the because you paid for it
it's
monthly
like
until
pay
you
to
owned
own?
it though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there are ones that are like that. I just don't have them.
I'm thinking of Pro Tools specifically because it just seems ridiculous. Like the
Yeah.
whole software you can't use unless you're paying them monthly, or you
Yeah.
pay like $5,000 up front for unlimited upgrades.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah.
It's craziness. Maybe it's small potatoes in the long run, but it just seems like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just like it'd be like, because most people that I know who use Pro Tools are engineers, right? So like that usually means that have clients that come to you to record, and it's like
Mhm.
if you worked at like a company or something, you'd have software that like ran whatever that was
That's
probably,
true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would never get Pro Tools because I don't have a use for it because it's like. I know my DAW. I use Logic, and it's like I know how to use it. I know exactly what I'm getting, and it's like
Yeah. I always hear good things about Logic too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
You can make beats on there too, right? Are you making
That's
beats
how I
on
make
there?
beats.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you can record on there like pretty much. Well, not every song because I did record some stuff with other people, but like most of the the songs that you really like, a lot of them were recorded at. Just right on Logic at my
Nice.
house.
Word.
Yeah.
So I want to ask about, you said you started producing at age 14.
Yeah.
Was there anyone at that time that you were going to school with, like any of your classmates that were also producing, or was that like a thing that you were doing on your own? Because I feel like I feel like at that age, like there might be some kids trying to rap, but nobody's really trying to produce.
Yeah, and actually nobody that I knew produced. That's kind of funny that you say that.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. There were people that rapped, but nobody I knew made beats.
Because that takes a lot for a 14-year-old kid to say, I'm going to try to figure out how to do this when none of your peers are doing it.
Yeah, I have that
Because at
conversation
that time,
with
like
my
you're
mom.
just concerned about what your peers are doing. I feel like a lot of kids, they're just like, rapping is cool. I want to do that, or I want to be good at sports or whatever. But you were like, I'm going to do
Yeah.
this thing that nobody else is doing.
That's interesting. I actually have talked to my mom about that because I'm like, where did that stuff come from?
Yeah.
Like I had like just, I mean, I don't know. Like I just absolutely loved music in general, but like hip hop, like I was like obsessed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm sure like a lot of us are, and like just, and so I don't know. I don't even know what made me like know how to even like get Fruity Loops. I really don't.
That's
like I'm
wild.
not even sure how those events.
You just had to do it. It
Yeah.
was just in your blood at that
Dude,
time.
I guess
Yeah.
like that's what I
Destiny,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah, because if nobody told me and like no one around me was doing it,
Yeah.
I did smoke a lot of weed back then, and I was probably like on the internet and stuff. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
like
Yeah.
somewhere along there, I got the
Makes
idea.
sense.
You were like, I want to make cool sounds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew like I want to make beats when I got it, but it was like, yeah, dude. And some of
That's
them,
awesome.
it's weird too because like not that they were good, like they were like a 14-year-old beat, but it was like there was like I never watched a tutorial. I never did anything, and like I go back and like I hear some of them, and I'm like, just like from listening to music, I understood like the patterns of where kicks and like I go back and listen to it and I'm like, how the heck did I like I don't really get it, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. I'm not sure where that came from.
Instinctual. You don't play any instruments?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I play the keyboard a little bit, but like not like if someone was a pianist, I would never say that, like, you know what I mean? It'd be like disrespectful to be like, oh, I'm a pianist. 'Cause I'm not. But I know, you know what I mean? I play my own notes and stuff in my beats. But yeah.
Okay.
Owen was mentioning earlier before the podcast, like producers making sounds out of just random objects around the room.
Yeah.
Is that something you do a lot?
Yeah. Yeah. With Compound Collective, with Evan Audio and merch, like that's like a big thing of what we do. Like
I love that.
we get, I'll have to show you some sometime. Like we just like tuck it into the beat so that there's just like organic like perk noises and just like you know what I mean, like stuff like that. But he literally has like a box of stuff that we've like accumulated that we found in his basement and stuff that's like, there's like a jar of popcorn kernels and like there's like a paint roller, and so like you shake it and it like, you know what I mean, just
That's
all
awesome.
sounds like that. Yeah.
That's
So
sick.
we that's like in a lot of our beats. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I feel like subconsciously having it be like familiar everyday objects that like makes the listener more comfortable whether they know it or not.
That's
I don't know if that makes sense.
no,
but
it definitely makes sense. I
Yeah.
believe that. Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's just like a paintbrush hitting against a mug.
Yeah, like you wouldn't know
Right,
that.
yeah.
Well, sometimes
like-
sometimes I hear like certain sounds in a beat, and I'll be like, that sounds like a knife slashing something, or like, you
Oh,
know what?
what?
I mean? Like, not a
It
person.
sounds like somebody just killed someone, and I'm like, what did this do?
It sounds like bones
I was thinking
breaking.
of sometimes,
No,
I don't know how you guys are making your beats. I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. Like it's like a
Yeah. Sometimes you hear like a sound in a beat, and you're like, that sounds like a specific thing I've heard before.
yeah,
So
definitely.
that's pretty cool. I like that you guys do that.
Yeah.
So you just have like a whole box of stuff.
He literally has not a suitcase, but like a what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. It's just like it's just like a
Yeah.
little thing that latches and he opens it up. You know what I
like a
mean? So
chest.
like
A chest.
yeah,
A treasure
like it's like
chest.
a treasure chest.
Dude,
of,
that's hilarious.
of we call it like perk sounds because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like anything like with percussion, it's like, but it's all random stuff that we found around his basement
That's
or
so
other
dope.
places. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I feel like every studio should have that too. Because
Definitely.
like I've seen so many memes too of people being like, what you think producing's like, and it's just you like vibing to a finished beat, and then
Yeah.
what it's really like, and it's just like
Yeah.
you're
It's
like
so
picking
like
the different
that.
sounds. Yeah.
No, it's really like that. Yeah.
But if you're sitting there like playing the sounds, you're just like, no. Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, like something a little more fun. That
No.
would, I don't know, a little more involved.
Yeah. No, I've thought that so many times, like being like seeing like someone who doesn't understand that world at all or like just has never done it and like it'll be like beautiful out, you know what I mean? Like the sunshine. We're like in a basement for 10 hours, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
like staring, you know what I mean? Just like and loving it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
not wouldn't be anywhere else, you know?
Man, yeah, it really does have to take. It's like 5 beats a day for 3 summers, you know?
Like
kinda thing.
Kanye said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you a Kanye
It's ahead
fan?
of his time. Me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love Kanye.
You gotta be.
Yeah.
Like production wise, I mean. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Like College Dropout. Like
did you watch the
changed my life.
documentary?
dude, I haven't been watching it. But
Really?
I know. Not because I don't want to. It's just I'm mad busy and like
You would
I need
love
to-
it.
dude.
So
I got to. Like I've been talking about it with John, and I'm just like, yo. So yeah, I'm definitely going to. I just haven't had the time to like sit down and because I just know with something like that, I need to give it my full attention. So it's
Absolutely.
like I want to be able to have time to like really pay attention to it.
Who are some of your favorite producers all time?
Dilla for sure, Kanye definitely. I really love Latrell James's production.
Yes,
like
shout
he's a
out,
huge
Boston.
inspiration to me. Yeah, those are some of the bigger ones.
That's dope that you put Latrell on that list. I like that.
Yeah, and it's like not like oh for like a local dude. I mean like he's in that category of those people to me. You know what I mean?
It's funny. Owen asked me like when the Kanye documentary was coming out, we were talking about it a lot, and Owen was like, "Who's the closest thing to Kanye in Boston?" And that I immediately off the top of my head said Latrell James.
Yeah, dude, like he's incredible, man.
Like when you combine the rapping and the production.
Yeah, he's incredible, dude. Like his last album was so amazing. Like I listened to it so many times.
I saw you posted a song from it like yesterday or the day before.
Dude. Yeah, that's my favorite song off it. But like the
But it was dope because it came out a while ago. So like the fact that you're still listening to it shows
dude,
how much of an impact it had on you.
Yeah, man. Like I just and like I think that he just says stuff that like he has music that is timeless. I think that it's not for a moment, and that's how a lot of music is now, and that's fine. Like I love music like that too. You know what I mean? Like I love turn up music. I love stuff that's just a moment, but you know, those are that's a record to me that I can go back to anytime and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know,
he's such a perfectionist too.
Yeah.
Like I remember I think it was like 2019. He had an album that like was ready to go. He was ready to put it out, and then he just didn't put it out.
Yeah.
And then he held like a whole listening party for it, and he's like, "This is the only time you're gonna hear it."
Yeah. Did you go to it?
I didn't go to it. No,
I didn't go either. I wish I did.
I wish I did too, but I just remember that happened. And one of the songs in that album was "Okay," which ended up like winning the BMA for Song of the Year or something. Like it was a phenomenal song. And I'm assuming the rest of the project was phenomenal too.
Yeah.
But it just didn't sit right with him, so he was like, I can't put this out. So that just shows you how much of a perfectionist he is and why he's so good.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. But yeah, that's like a perfect example of like why that video didn't come out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where it's like it doesn't you
like
pick it apart.
The
and you're
consumers might think this is so dope, but like if you
I know I'm better than that, and like I don't feel comfortable putting it out. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So, do you believe, like, we had someone say, I think it was J.R. Specs, he's a rapper/singer from Maine, who we had on a few weeks ago, and he was just saying that, like, he struggles with that too, like, being a perfectionist and never wanting to put something out because it's not good enough for him. So he, like, developed this thing where he just, once he's 80% satisfied with it, he puts it out.
Yeah, I think it was 85.
85?
That's his number.
That's his number. Like, I don't know. That was his number that he gave, but, like, he was basically saying that like you can't wait till you're 100% satisfied with it because then it'll never come out.
Yeah. Like I props to him. Like I think that's probably a good way to do it because, well, it's funny. Like my song "Be Lit," that's actually one of my beats too. I forgot that. But
shit be lit where I'm from. I love that one.
Yeah, that's my production too. I had recorded that right. And I had ETS on it, and he hit me, and like whatever it was, like I picked it apart. There was one thing that I like really disliked about it. I was trying to get it right and couldn't get it right, and then just like kind of let it sit. And then he hit me like a year and a half later. He was like sent me the song, and he was like, "Bro, like why haven't you put this out?" I went back and listened to it. And I couldn't remember what it was that I didn't like.
Oh.
So I'm like,
so there you go.
It's kind of like, you know, it's
sometimes
like in
you're
the moment.
Your own worst enemy. Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
I am 100%. Probably most of us are.
No,
absolutely.
That wasn't like you.
I think we all suffer from that to an extent.
For sure. But yeah, so then I put it out because I was like, that's stupid. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even remember what it was that I didn't like about it.
So you just decided to put it out at that point. You're like, I don't.
Yeah, because like at that point it was kind of like it was a song that was like there was nothing too like time pressing about it, and I was like, it was still going to be new to other people, so I was just like, all right, let's do it. So I just that
one and what was the other that one's super fun, and then We Could.
Oh yeah, with Bakari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two are those are party songs. Those are like bops.
Hell
Like
yeah.
I'll put those on in any setting. Like, and
Shout
I know
out to
people are gonna
Bakari.
like them.
Bakari's the man, dude. Have you ever talked with him at all?
I think I met him for the first time a few weeks ago,
Cool.
like briefly
Yeah.
at Aunt Thomas's listening party.
Oh, dope. And Thomas, shout out to him too. He's the man.
Yeah, he just dropped a new single.
Yeah. Feel me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Bakari's the
Bakari, that's a name like I've heard a lot over the years. Like,
Yeah.
just in different. I heard that he's big in putting together that like
Hoop-hop.
basketball tournament. Yeah,
Hoop-hop.
hoop-hop. Yeah.
Mm.
Which we've talked about before.
Yeah,
Bakari's
we
like
learned about that on this podcast.
Yeah,
That's
we did.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he's like
He's big
another
in the,
one that's
just the
just like
community in
the
general.
big in the community, like a solid ass human being, like
Yeah.
the man, like same kind of thing, like you know what I mean. Someone that you meet in music and like, oh, I rock with what you do, and he rocked with what I did, and then we just same kind of thing, same energy, like regardless if we ever made music or not. Again, like that's the homie. He's the man.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love that song. Like the beat. Who made that beat?
that was
Because it's sampled from like a classic song.
Yeah,
I don't know what song
that
it
was
is, but-
J1K.
Oh,
who,
okay.
Who do you know who Sean Patel is?
Yes.
Yes.
From Producers United. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I did a lot of stuff with him back in the day, and he worked a lot with J1K. I actually never even like met him in person. I think he was from Maryland, but he would like send a lot of beats to the people that like worked with or close to Sean, and so yeah, and that was like a beat that he had sent like mad long ago, and was just kind of sitting around, and then I ended up writing to it, and like I had my part for a while too. Then even when Bakari finished it, like that's kind of like when it came out, it was kind of old, but it was one of those ones, same kind of thing where I was like, this doesn't really
It's
have
kind
like
of
a time limit.
It's timeless. It really is.
Yeah, so I wanted
That's
to
just
get
a fun
that.
song.
Yeah.
Pull up to the party, got love from everybody. We
Yeah.
were sipping on Bacardi and smoking on Lottie Dottie.
That's dope.
I know all of it, dude. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that
fire.
song.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. So you said basically like with the rapping stuff, it's whenever you feel it, like at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I just don't want to force it, but
Do you envision yourself like putting out an album at some point?
yeah,
Okay.
I do. I definitely do. Like, it's there. You know what I mean? But again, I just don't want to force it, and like, I just want to.
It can't be forced.
Yeah, and like, I think with the production, like, I've just like really enjoyed the path that clearly it was the right decision. You know what I mean? Like, this huge thing happened, and it kind of like reinvigorated my love for music because I'm like doing the same kind of stuff that I was doing back then. Like I used to do the same thing. Like I would be working a job. I would be out mad late. I would be mad tired when I went to work the next day, but I was so fired up about music that
The only
it didn't
difference is
matter.
now you probably feel more validated after that last record.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's a reason I'm doing this.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even like
Next
before
level.
that happened, I was like fired up about production because I
Yeah.
was like, you know what I mean? I'm out all the time. I'm so busy doing stuff and like working with all these different people. Like we were talking about Mixwell from Pomegranate. Shout out
yep.
to him. He's dope. He's a dope producer. I see him every Thursday up at their studio in New Hampshire. I see
that.
Colin all the time. I see my dudes Evan and Mertz from Compound. I see John all the time. So like I'm mad busy, and like I hadn't felt like that. Like back then it was like I was going to shows all the time. You know what I mean? I was like, even if they weren't mine, I was going to network and like
Yeah.
going to people's studio sessions and like going to different studios and meeting people and working with mad people. And it was like I felt alive and I was like hungry and chasing it, and like that somewhere died. I don't know what happened, but like, you know, whatever, it's mental health or just didn't have the same inspiration for it. And like to have that again, like even before the J. Cole thing happened and the Bia thing, like I was feeling that, and it was like
Yeah.
I can't ignore that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like, I mean, I talked to you at Justin's show back in October,
Oh,
and
that's
I
right.
asked you, I was like, oh, you know, because I knew you hadn't released any rapping
Yeah.
recently. So I was like, what's going? Like, have you been making any music? And you're just like, I'm producing. Like, I could tell, like, when you said that, like, you're locked in on producing.
Yeah.
I was like, this kid's a producer now. Like, he's a
Yeah.
full-time producer. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So, and then I noticed, like, everything that Colin was dropping, like, you were producing all that stuff.
Yep.
And, you know, working with Pomegranate a lot. And it was like, I could tell at that time that, like, this is what you want to do, is the production thing. Like, at this moment, at least. And,
Yes.
Sorry. So I did want to ask. Sorry, were you going?
No,
into
no,
the
go
thing?
ahead.
So production is the passion. I did want to get into that a little bit of like, what is your favorite part of it? Because basically what you just said to me kind of makes it sound like it's like the community, like the social part of it, the people that you're seeing all the time and working with.
That's a big piece of it, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, those are, it's like music. It's like all the people that I talked about before. I was like, oh, those are like my homies. Those are like lifelong friends now.
Yeah.
The same thing happens, but it doesn't happen without the music. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are people in life that I wouldn't have met otherwise, you know? So it's like we are bonded by that love of music, and then you just spend so much time together that friendship grows, you know what I mean? But like, it's like I didn't really even know Mixwell that well when I first started going up there, and we started getting up every week, and now we're like super close friends. But like we really weren't when we started doing it, you know? It was just the love of music and wanting to create.
I went up to their studio like a couple years ago, or it must have been 2019, for a podcast. Eastie and I went up there, and they had been working on the Volume 2 album at that time.
Yep.
And they had like a whiteboard in their studio with like a list of the tracks, and one of them said featuring Tim Nihan.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know you knew them at that point. So I was like, you got a track with Tim Nihan? They were like, yeah, like that's the homie. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how'd you link up with those guys originally?
So through do you know who Mike Wing is?
Yes,
Yeah,
also from
Mike,
New Hampshire.
Yeah, he's another one. Same thing, dude. Like, lifelong friend. You know what I mean? Like the absolute man. And but me and him had a couple songs together, and he had like a big following in New Hampshire. And like, he would, when he did shows, it was like, you know what I mean? The crowd knew every word to a song type of thing. You know what I mean? So he would invite me up to do like a set with him, because I would be on a couple of the songs or whatever. Then people started knowing me up there, and then people would ask me to perform up there. And Everett, you know, he was always performing, and so he asked me to do a couple shows, and like he said he was a fan, and I heard his stuff, and I was like, oh, you're super dope too, man. And then we just kind of linked on that, and he was like, yo, we got to get up. But that was kind of like a little bit before they had done Pomegranate, like it wasn't actually a thing yet. So then when it formed, then they asked me to come up, and actually on those projects, because I'm on 2 of their projects. Yep. We did both those songs in the same night, actually, and they just
really?
like split them up. Yeah.
And those came out like 2 years apart, I want to say.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool, because I like wanted, like, I loved both of them, and they were like kind of different and like different vibes. So I like was hoping that both of them would come out. Those are like my favorite verses I've given people, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I really like those songs. I'm like super proud to be a part of those.
That's dope.
Yeah.
They're a great collective. I feel like they got a lot of different talents that they all bring together.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it's cool to see like you being a part of that, because I feel like they're overlooked a little bit. Pomegranate. I bring them up a lot, and not a ton of people know about them. Like in Massachusetts, I'm sure in New Hampshire they're bigger, and like, you know, they're out in LA now, a lot of them, and but.
No, their music's
music's
fire.
incredible.
Super
so
fire.
I like to see people from like, you know, the Boston, Massachusetts scene working with them too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's like, you know, not knocking anybody, but like, you know how sometimes there's people in the scene that like you hear and you're like, oh, that's super dope.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like super dope for the scene almost. And it's like they make music that's just like, you could put it on a playlist mixed in with B and J. Cole, and it's like
they
right
got
in
a couple huge playlist placements at one
Yeah.
point. I think with Rest and like a couple other songs. Like
Yep.
they've blown up on Spotify because people have put them on playlists.
Yep.
So that just shows that they have that ability.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk about Colin.
Yeah, man, Colin.
So Colin Mitchell, formerly Composition, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people probably recognize his name, Composition from when Token was first coming up. They were kind of like, they were doing it together, sort of.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It was
They
a
had
collective.
a group and everything, yeah.
Yeah, with Jon Glass and everything, and Token obviously exploded, became this international superstar.
Shout out Token.
Big shout out Token, and they're obviously still friends.
Yeah. No,
and Colin, kind of in the last year or so, has just really been diving back into the music thing. It feels. I'm sure he never left it, but it seems like he's just really been producing a lot of high quality music, and you've been a part of the production of that. Obviously.
Yeah, man. I think it's just like anybody. You go through different things, and he kind of like the same thing with like the name change, and like he was just like figuring out what kind of music he wanted to make, like what his own voice was.
Yeah.
And like, man, he is figuring it out in a major way. Like I'm excited for his music. He's so talented, bro. Like, and he has all these crazy ideas, man, that like he puts together his own visuals, and like he's just like tapped into something really special. And like, dude, I do a lot of stuff, and it's just like, just because I so strongly believe in that he's gonna make it, and that like,
I love that.
And dude, he's super hungry for it, and like he creates so much, bro. Like, I've never seen someone, you know what I mean? Like, I've heard of it. Like, I've heard of people doing it.
Yeah.
But I've never, like, known
never
someone.
Witnessed it.
Yeah, like, he cranks out songs, and they're all good. It's like, what, bro? Like, yeah. He's like,
been on fire lately, and he needs more recognition.
He does, bro. He absolutely
really
does.
I feel like the name change maybe threw some people off. Like, people haven't caught on to the Colin thing yet.
It is hard to change names.
Yeah.
People get used to it.
But I feel like as soon as he catches that momentum, starts to catch people's ear, like the sky's the limit for him. Because
dude, that's all it needs. That's all he needs. Like, we talk about it all the time, and I'm like, bro, as soon as the right people hear it, and it catches that thing, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a wildfire. Like, I know it, because he has, like, he just has such like a unique, distinct voice, and it's like he tapped into something that's like, he always calls it like wavy pain, and like we have like a collective. It's like Wavy Boys 2000 and forever, and like he's like always, it's like he's talking about real life, but it's like just in this like, waved out, like, up tempo kind of like newer beats, and like it's crazy, man. Like he's
talking about like real life shit, but like in a fun way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's like if you didn't know what he was saying, you'd
want to dance.
I don't smoke, but no, well, not even dance, but like more like smoke. And like, I meant, when I said up tempo, I mean more like I meant not even fast tempo, but like hard hitting, like 808s, and like it's like knocking, but it's laid back, and it's like
it's definitely laid back.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't smoke, but I would imagine you would want to like ride and smoke to it. You know what I mean? And like,
it's definitely that kind of music, I think.
And if you didn't know what he was saying, it would be like, oh, this is kind of chill. But he's like talking about like, isolating and you know what I mean? And yeah, he has really cool ideas about stuff. So I'm excited about that.
Love that. So you guys have dropped a few singles, right?
Yeah. A couple of things that he's put out have been my beats. And then there was one, Selfish, that me and Mixwell did.
Okay.
And then like I did some mixing for some of him. That's why like sometimes he'll tag me, but that some of those weren't my beats, but it was just I mixed the song for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys, like, does he have a project coming up, or?
Yeah, he's gonna drop an album pretty soon.
Word.
He's got some crazy videos that he's been working on, and then he's been dropping like every week.
Yeah,
like,
he's been dropping a lot of singles. I've been trying to keep up.
I know it's hard to keep up with that. I know it is hard to keep up with that, and like, but he's kind of he's just like in the mode, like he's just in the work mode, and he's just like, I'm gonna push these out, and like, that's what I mean, bro. Like that, the songs that he has, he's dropping like every week, and he's got like a stash of like 100 more. It's like crazy. It's crazy.
That.
It's like Lil Wayne stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's good to be ready though.
Dude,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
Absolutely. That's what worked for Lil Wayne during that era where he was dominating. It's the fact that he had so much in the vault. It was like he could drop something every day if he wanted to.
Yep.
How deep is your vault right now?
Dude, my vault isn't that deep. I can't even lie. Like, you mean like with rap or
anything? Yeah, just like beats. I mean, I'm sure you get a million beats lined up, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I make a lot of samples, and then I'll make a lot of like I definitely have beats laying around for sure, but like I have like so many songs, like rap songs that never came out, like a ridiculous amount. Yeah,
Like for big bucks, like people could pay for. Big bucks, hit them up.
Yeah.
Skrelly bucks.
$100 a song.
Yeah, $100. Yeah.
I think $1,000 a song. That's that's the artist price because that's the thing. Just keep marking it up. Art. Art costs.
Yeah, I can market whatever I want, but nah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're. So there was a little while where I was like letting a couple leak onto Instagram, just because I knew that I still have people. It's not a lot, but like I have people that still hit me up and like ask for music. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me give those people that still tune in for that. Something.
I think the bigger you get with the production thing, I think like eventually you can just start putting your music out, and I don't know. I feel like people are gonna want to hear that.
Would you ever use a pseudonym, just like secret artists?
Oh, bro. I wanted, like, I came so close.
I feel like that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No, like, I was like, like when I started getting, so like there was like a period where I was like kind of low key, like in terms of social media, but I was still creating all the time. But like I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't linking with people, and that was really where like I started like going hard with the beats because I was just creating all the time.
Yeah.
But I definitely made a couple songs that were like outside of what I normally do, and I was like so ready to be like, yo, not only am I changing my name, but like I don't even want people to know who I am. Like I want to put these out and like have nobody know that it's me, because that was a huge reason of why I was like stopped, because I was so like, we were talking about that before. Like, I was so like afraid of like exposure, you know.
Exposure is like a double-edged sword because you feel like you're exposed to all the praise, but you're also exposed to all the criticism.
There's so many positives and so many negatives that come with that.
Yeah.
It's like it feels good to be recognized and be appreciated, but it's like you want your privacy, and you can't have both of those things. It's like,
well, it's weird. Tough. It's weird too, because like I want people to like my music, but like when people compliment me, I get wicked uncomfortable. You know, I know a lot of people are like that, but like even with all of this stuff with B and J. Cole, like honestly, a lot of it has been uncomfortable for me. Like,
it's all right. Yeah.
No, like that's like I know it's dope, but it's like, you know, it's just like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm sure people.
What about it makes you uncomfortable, do you think?
I don't know if it's just like the attention or like I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I mean, there's definitely different elements to it. Like,
is there like a piece of imposter syndrome there too?
Oh, 100%, bro. Really? Oh my God, yeah. Like totally.
I feel like that never escapes you, like at any level.
Well, it's also like from an I could understand though why someone would actually think that about me, because like there's producers that have been like putting in work for a long time, right? And like I was rapping, and like I know what we just talked about.
You've been putting in work as a producer,
right? And that I've been making music since I was 12, and that like everything I was doing, and like I built a relationship with Jon Glass through rapping, but like we always would link and make music, so it's like it all makes sense to me. But like I could see how someone looking on the outside would be like, yo, like that's kind of like quick for like, because it's like I don't have that many production credits, and then all of a sudden I have be a J.
Do you think anyone's really thinking that?
No, I don't know. It's just just what goes on in my head.
Well, you always get like, we're always doing that to ourselves. Like you're being
I agree.
You're thinking
100%.
But you also like, when credits due, like gas yourself up. You know, like you know you've been producing that long. You know you deserve it.
Yeah,
and you know that like anyone making that judgment doesn't really know what you've been doing. Like they're making that judgment as an outsider who has no idea that you've been producing since you were 14. So
yeah.
It's like as long as you know that you've put in that work, you know.
No,
It
for
is-
sure.
That's important.
For sure. And like I definitely have come to peace with it, but I had the range of emotions when it all happened. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff went through my head for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you got a lot of people giving you praise at that point, and it's like, it's
I did hit
awkward.
up a lot.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
Yeah,
It's
a
like,
lot of people hit me up.
yeah, and that can get awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, how many of these people really care? It's like, what
Yeah.
Clout chasing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you could kind of tell though. Like
Yeah.
like you can weed it out. You know, it's pretty easy to be like,
It's like, you haven't shown me support in 6 years.
yeah, and like even that stuff is like I'm not even mad at that. Like
Yeah.
it's because it's like, you know, people live lives and then it's like I do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you watch from a distance and like sometimes there'll be like months. There have been months of my life where like I'm on social media but nobody knows I'm on social media. Like I just scroll and I don't interact.
Yeah.
But it's not because it doesn't mean that I feel any less supportive for what that person is doing. It's just like I don't really feel like interacting on
You just
social
kind of want to
media.
get out of
yeah.
that circle. Like, yeah,
It's
I get
kind
that.
of exhausting, in my opinion, to
Right.
like comment and like on other people's social media.
Yeah.
Like, because you can only do it to so many people.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like if you're doing it for celebrities, like, I don't know what the fuck you got time for, because like if you
Bro.
you know what I mean, like how
Nah, I
many people
know.
could you be commenting on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
shit? Like
Nah.
it should be someone
Agreed.
that you know at least,
Agreed.
or like
Nah, for
could
sure.
see in the scene or something, you know? Like I'm just like, I don't understand. Like I would never comment on the Rocks page like, oh yeah, Terramana tequila.
I comment on like Celtics players' pages sometimes. Like, but
Oh
that's
no,
it.
you're the guy.
Yeah.
No,
But
no,
dude,
it's
no,
cool.
but that
That's
makes
sports.
sense
That's
for
I
you,
different.
comment
though.
on
Yeah,
it
yeah.
from the Boston's Big Four page. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like,
So it's
you know,
hell yeah.
publicity.
It's
Yeah,
work.
you're working.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
working.
That's different.
But yeah, it gets weird sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Yeah.
do whatever you want, but I just feel like with the limited time, we should all probably be spending less time on social media, because I myself.
Not
Catch it.
probably. We should all definitely be spending
But
less time.
that's
on
why I
social
just
media.
feel like
for
if you're
sure.
gonna like
For
and
sure.
comment, if you will interact with anybody, just like it should be anyone that you could possibly see in real life.
Yeah.
Not like.
Support your friends before you support celebrities.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like local artists, like support them. I'm not
Yes,
gonna like.
yeah.
I mean, even it's hard to like and share everyone's stuff, but like at the same.
It's impossible to keep up with everyone
Yeah.
at this point. But
But
Yeah,
I'm
for real.
such a scroller. Like I look at so much stuff. So if you get a like from me, it's a big deal. I just want you guys to
Okay.
know that. Anyone.
yeah,
All right.
I
it is a
hope-
big deal. Owen doesn't like everything.
I usually don't. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, social media it's a wild game. I saw like a fake tweet from Elon Musk today that said like, I've just bought Twitter so I could shut it down. You all need to go outside now.
Oh, did you say? I saw one. Yeah, a similar one about Facebook.
and I was like, I
yeah.
wish that was true,
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
So Elon
No,
Musk
no.
did buy Twitter. That's
He
pretty
bought
crazy,
Twitter,
huh?
yeah.
Oh, it's official?
I
Yeah.
think. Well, I think they agreed on it. It might not have like gone through
Wow.
yet, but yeah, they like agreed on his price or whatever.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
40 billion, right?
Yeah, like 44 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
What the heck?
in the billions. Isn't that wild?
You know,
it's a
just
fake
pocket
numbers.
change.
Yeah.
Once it's billions, it's fake numbers. Like, what's 40 to 42 billion? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
does
What's the
that
difference
even-
between 3 billion and 40 billion?
Right.
Like once you have a
Yeah.
billion, it's like you
like
got
about,
everything. you
about
need.
100 years worth of food, and like maybe even
Yeah.
more.
I mean,
No,
a
for
shit
real.
ton, but I mean, like in the moment, it's like, come on,
Oh my god, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's wild.
that is.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, by the time this comes out, maybe it will all have blown up in his face, and it didn't happen. So
Oh, yeah, good call.
yeah,
I'm just
Right.
like, what do you want to buy Twitter for?
Yeah, I don't really. Well, I don't know.
didn't he get in trouble from them because he was like tweeting stuff?
Yeah, I think
about,
it was
like-
about like free speech, right?
yeah. I mean,
Imagine-
Twitter
imagine
Twitter
that
has been quick on the
44 billion.
trigger.
$44 billion to just make a point. Like,
Yeah,
you're just like, no,
exactly.
I just like.
Speeches.
Wanna
You're just
be
like,
able to
yeah,
say
I
what I
got
want.
that to spend. I can just,
But I guess like I don't know. I listen to some of those podcasts and like like the whole like Joe Rogan like crew like they they like believe in that stuff so hard. So like I could see them like it's bigger than like they're like, oh, $44 billion is worth it. Like
Yeah. Well, I did hear. Speaking of Joe Rogan, I did hear him make a comment about because Elon's idea was to make it so you had to pay monthly or something to be on Twitter, but. I guess but it's annoying. But like, if it was cheap, if it was, I don't know what the prices were, but like, if you had to pay for Twitter, that would probably like automatically knock out most of the bots because it would make that way too expensive to do.
True.
man.
So
That
it would
is a
be,
good
like,
point.
Real people.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Because how can we get rid of the bots? Like, that's probably the best way, actually.
Which, like, I think the bots probably do fuck a lot of things up because
yeah,
like,
they do.
You don't even,
on Instagram, they do too.
yeah, you might not even know you're talking to a bot. Like, they're answering you like it's a real thing, like pretty real. You know, they have like pretty decent AI, so they could be saying something annoying to you, and you're like, oh, this is an annoying person, but it's just all fake. That'd be pretty.
That's pretty smart. If it was like super cheap, but that way you couldn't. Yeah,
Mm.
because even super cheap, if you made 100 accounts.
Yeah,
like,
if
oh,
it's like $2.99 a month, I'll do it.
Yeah, damn. Honestly, they should just make it like $1 a month.
yeah.
That would be pretty reasonable to do the
That would be.
exact same thing that they've already been doing. So,
But just not have bots.
yeah.
Because the bots are obnoxious. On Instagram,
kidding.
especially.
Oh,
Every
oh
time we
my
use
God.
hashtags,
They're
we get
like,
flooded with
right.
bots.
Why do you
DM
always
us.
go to the bathroom
Yeah.
after?
What's that?
What's up with that one? Have you seen that one?
It's always
It's
like-
always like some hot girl being like, why does everyone go to the bathroom after they look at my pictures?
Oh my
And like,
God.
and then people comment and they'll be like, to take a shit.
That's such a stupid thing to say too. Like,
Dude, yeah.
you're gonna be a bot and try to get people to like go to some website. Like, it's the lamest thing you could possibly say.
I've seen
Oh
that
my God.
multiple times.
I feel like bots are one of those things that, like, when you're just upcoming, you're like, oh, sweet, I have a bunch of random followers that are just following
It
me
does.
now,
It
but-
is cool to have like 30 comments on a post.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
even
but then
if they're
you
all
gotta
bots.
comment on those and say goofy stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
No, you're good at that. Every
That's
time
my
we
favorite, yeah.
every time we get bot comments. What was the one someone was like pay us to have it sponsored on this site or something, and
yeah.
you were like, no, you stole my money last time, and you're like,
I need it back. Yeah.
you were like, I still need that in my grandma's wedding ring or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like,
Oh
please
my
give it
God.
back. No, yeah, I think I was like, I gave you $200
Hey,
in my
my-
grandma's wedding.
that's what
ring.
it
Please
was.
give it back. One time they commented on Hero made a post. Shout out Hero the MC, Bars Over Bars. He made a post about like they were doing like some movie night with Bars Over Bars, and it just so happened that there were enough bot comments for me to comment like bar for bar, all the lyrics of the High School Musical song "Breaking Free."
Why did you do
Which-
that?
Because that was the that was the movie they were watching. So I was
Oh
like,
man.
Jesus.
you know what I mean? It's
The internet's
That's
getting
good.
out of
Have fun
hand.
with
free
it.
was soaring.
Yeah,
Come
you
on,
just got to
sing.
mess with the bots, though. That's
Yeah.
the best way to handle it.
But it does make me wonder. Like, am I on a list? There's probably some bot company that's like that guy interacts with them. Let's like do stuff to whatever his
So now
account
he
is.
gets more. You
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
more because you.
I do get a lot of spam calls now, so maybe that's on me.
Yeah,
My phone number's not connected to Instagram though, so who knows?
as far as you know.
Yeah.
Dude, it probably is though. They know.
They know everything. If your Instagram's on your phone, then they know your number.
They act like they know. They don't know, but they do know. You know.
They do. They do.
I will say, and if they do know, they should tell artists and us because we also need good analytics, and I feel like it's hard to get them.
True.
So if they know, give me everyone's phone number and email address so we can start sending out large-scale newsletters. That's something that I feel like is important to collect like information, and we don't do that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
Like-
do
Give
that.
me your social security number.
No, well, that I mean, no, I
No, I know, I'm
that-
just
I mean, like emails, getting on email lists.
Yeah,
is
no,
super
email lists are
important,
big.
Yeah.
Definitely.
but they're also annoying if you get on the wrong ones. So
They're annoying to be on sometimes.
speaking of spam and bots,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, we mentioned Latrell James, Pomegranate, Colin. Who are some local artists, New England artists maybe, who you haven't worked with that you're a fan of?
Like newer people
Just anyone.
or anybody.
is that because you've
Anybody.
worked with everybody?
I'm trying to
People who maybe you'd want to work with who you haven't connected with yet. If there's anyone. Maybe there
Yeah.
isn't.
No, well, I really like Why Try. Like,
Yes.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out Why Try.
Actually,
Try is dope.
I did just get in me because he does a lot of stuff with John.
Yeah.
So I was involved, but it was a really small involvement. I'd like to, you know what I mean? I also just like rock with him. Like, I think that he's a superstar. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he has
He
potential.
does have that aura about
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
He's a movie star too.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with
Oh
that?
Yeah, so
Cinema.
Owen and I went to the premiere for that movie, and we met
So
him that
dope.
night, and he was like walking around with like a fancy cane the whole night.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was like,
Dripped
this guy's
out.
got it down.
Yeah. Nah, he's like to see him in the studio was crazy, dude. Like his energy is and his aura, like it's just nuts, man. Like,
And you were at Justin's show back in October that he
yeah.
opened for. When
his performance,
his
was
entrance,
nuts.
Oh my god.
his entrance when they were like, oh, they said he wasn't gonna come.
Yeah,
'cause
they're
he
like,
got,
oh, there was an incident with the Boston police.
Yeah.
And, oh my god.
and then he comes from the back with the handcuffs on. That was
WWE
awesome.
style. That was the best. It would have been even better if he like fought them and did like a whole like suplex. And was like, I just escaped the police. No,
That was
he just-
amazing.
Yeah. Trying to think. I've been trying for a while. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but I've been trying to do some production for King Philip. Do you know who that is? He's like,
I do.
yeah, like Latrell's.
He's
homie,
worked
and
with Latrell a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how I know about him.
Yeah, like same thing with his last album. I listened to that all the time.
Yeah,
But, I mean, I did a song with him like way back rapping, but I want to like produce for him.
okay.
So that's a goal, and I always have wanted to produce for Latrell.
Yeah,
But it's hard because it's like,
he produces all of his own shit.
he has
so-
the most fire beats. So
Yeah.
what does he need me for? But yeah, those are definitely, those are some of the people for sure. Yeah,
Word.
and I'm sure
Alright.
there's more, but I just like can't think of anybody right now. So
It's-
like,
it's
you get
hard.
put on the spot.
There's so
It's
yeah,
like-
no, I
Because
know.
I know that there's people that I rock with that I'm just like forgetting right now. But
There's so many talented people in New England right now.
like even Casso, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
absolutely.
we've talked a little bit
Mm.
about doing something.
he
like-
was saying he did a show with you at one point.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. Yeah, like so for Justin's show,
Yeah.
he was there. Did he perform at that?
Yeah,
he
the one in
performed.
October.
No, like years ago, the one where we met.
Oh, I don't think he performed at that one.
Okay, but
it
he
was you
there.
and it was Surreal, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we met there, and he like asked me to open up for him when he
Okay.
did the Middle East upstairs.
That's when he was still Mark Vincent.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
still
Yeah.
Mark Vincent then. But yeah, so yeah, we always like just have quick conversations online and you know what I mean and
He's a good person to know, I feel like.
yeah, dude, he's
'Cause he's just always
crazy
working.
talented.
Yeah.
I appreciated you guys talking about that on the podcast too, and being like he's someone that gets overlooked sometimes because I think that his music is so high quality and his
Yeah.
videos are so high quality and like yeah, he works crazy hard.
Yeah, we've seen like the work he's put in over the years and the amount of quality music he's put out. So like when he gets overlooked, we don't like that, you know.
Yeah.
He's someone that I like listen, you know what I mean, that I listen to his music. Like there's a lot of things that I try to like tap into and might like just hear. I bet you do the same thing because you try to be tapped in where you
Yeah.
like you hear it once because you want to know.
Mm.
And like not that it's bad, but you just don't end up going back to it. But like
Right.
I go back
There's just
to
a lot of
Casso's
material.
music.
Yeah, he's got a lot of replay value.
Yeah.
in his
does.
music, definitely.
Yeah.
As do you. I go back to
Thank
Which
you,
Side's
man.
been out for a while now, and I still go back to that often. So
That's probably why it has so many streams.
it's
just
probably all
you.
me.
It's just you.
Yeah, that's what I was
It
saying.
wasn't
yeah.
your playlist. It was
It
just
was,
you.
it was just me putting it on repeat
That's
at 2 in the
fire.
morning.
Yeah, that's crazy. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, it's a hidden gem. Like I said, I feel like all your music, like production aside, like your rapping, I feel like it's a hidden gem.
Thank you, man.
So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it gets out to more people.
Yeah,
Well, it won't be hidden anymore.
Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
out there now.
yeah, right.
yeah. Now that you're on our podcast, we're so big.
No, I mean because the song, but also,
But yeah,
also
that
'cause
too.
this, Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
No, the Bia song and having J. Cole on your beat, that's like gonna
Yeah.
open so many doors. I feel like, and that's just
Yeah,
amazing that you've put in 19 years of work. You said since 12 years old, and to have something like that is just like so validating. I can imagine. I mean, just for us as consumers, it is. It's like
yeah,
you see that and you're like, I told you this dude was something, and Jon Glass too, and Aziz, and it's like it kind of validates the whole, because we've been just hyping up the New England scene for years,
yeah,
So when something like that happens, it validates us and everything we've been saying. We're like, I told you there's something going on here. You know?
yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
For real,
So
man.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We won't keep you any longer, but
yeah. And I know you mentioned, just quickly, I want to ask.
Yeah.
You mentioned you've been doing sample packs. Do you have like a website or anything we can find those on?
So I haven't released one yet, but I'm definitely going to soon. When I said I make samples, like I usually send them exclusively to like, you know what I mean, producers that I'm trying to work with. But now that this happened, that's definitely in the works. So yeah, that'll definitely be on the lookout for that.
That Nihan hi-hat.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Sort of rhymes.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're working on it. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll
no,
see
that's
myself
exciting,
out.
though. Yeah.
No,
So-
believe me, as a kid, back when I was 14 doing it, I rhymed everything you could possibly rhyme with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Of course.
Lion.
Oh yeah.
That was a big one. It'd be like, Nihan, no lion, come through like a lion. Like that was like one of
That's
my
fire.
things that
That's
I would
fire.
do
That
as
is
a
pretty
kid.
fire.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming on.
thank you.
So
yeah.
we got Tim Nihan everywhere.
Yes. Tim
Nihan,
yeah.
not Han.
We were just
Sorry.
talking about that
Yeah.
before.
Sorry, I
Nah,
goofed.
it's cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Don't
I guess
even-
I'm trying to emphasize the spelling, but it'll be up on the
It's
screen.
Nihan.
It's probably on the screen right
But
now.
yeah, everywhere is that. Yeah.
It's all right. I called him Nihan the first time I met him. That was my
That's
bad.
how it looks, man. That's how it looks.
That's
I
how it
can't be
looks.
mad at it, bro. You know what I mean? It's like that's
I'm
how
mad
looks
at
like
it. I'm still mad that I did that, honestly.
Nah,
it happens.
you are one of many, and so it happens
All right.
all the time. Even like you told him what it was.
Oh
and he-
yeah,
and
I
he
heard
did
you
it.
guys saying it. Yeah, and I
He
just still said it
still
wrong.
Nihan.
It's a
You don't
weird
pronounce the
looking
H.
name.
Instinct,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's how I say it to people. It's just like Brian, Ryan, Nihan. Like
Yeah.
it's just like any
That's
of
that's the
those.
best way to describe it.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
But yeah, Tim Nihan everywhere. Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. Appreciate you guys for
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
you,
on.
man. Boston's Big Podcast. Tim Nihan. It's a wrap.